I said last month, Virgo, that love changes everything, and it has. You've got a completely new world now. It's what's opening up in October. Completely new world. It should bring with it luck, but I can see some challenges. There always are when this happens. And you'll get through them, don't worry. Yeah, last month you were seeking out not only, how to act. You were seeking out information that was actionable. And I think as a result of getting that information, you're walking away from so much, walking away from things that have been familiar to you. And this is a new paradigm, it's a new world. Maybe that's not a bad thing to be doing. I'm not going to criticise you for it anyway. There is justice here. I actually think it's in your favour, even though there are some darknesses in this reading. I think it's in your favour. Oh no, it's not. No, it's probably against you. It's probably against you. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but what it does do is you end up very self-reflective as a result. Self-reflective, going inside yourself looking for answers. And this is a part of turning your back on the material, walking away from it. And after this month, where you end up is putting up boundaries. I think they're legitimate boundaries that you put up. You don't want to see yourself, and they may include boundaries for yourself, but you don't want to see yourself back in this position. What would change everything is, I believe, that you have some sort of a pastime. Maybe it's an addiction, something that's a little bit unsavoury. And what would change everything is you finding succour, finding release in that. So you're urged not to. Meditate, go inside yourself, and you'll find what you need. This isn't a bad reading, I promise you, Virgo, even though it sounds like it is. Last month, Virgo, you lost a love and they betrayed you. And you didn't care because you'd found a new love. And I said love would change everything, and it has, hasn't it? A new cycle has started for you. And with it comes luck. A completely new cycle. Your world has changed beyond all recognition. And you're happy to embrace this new world. Happy to embrace this world with this new love. Moving on from the old love. Moving on from the old. Not really caring about the old. Indeed, I think bound up in this old love was a degree of materialism. And you're recognising that isn't what's important anymore. There are more important things, such as love itself. And that's where you're heading towards, Virgo. Like I say, last month you lost a love and they betrayed you. But you didn't care because you found this new love, and you were sort of searching for the information, and actionable information, what to do as it were. And you didn't really find it, it sort of came to you. You were searching for it and it came to you. It came to you in the form of love. It came to you in the form of saying, my old love was bound up in all these things. Maybe possessions, maybe material things. And now you know that no longer matters. And it's love itself that matters. Yeah, you're turning your back on your old life. You're turning your back on the old things, on what you used to know. In particular, you're turning your back on materialism. You're leaving it all behind. Metaphorically, you're walking up a mountain into the unknown. Maybe you literally are. I myself went down to the market this morning and walked back, and you lose all your troubles as you do so. Partially it's you're so tired, you can't. The monkey brain stops as you're focusing on, can I get up this hill? That's exactly what you need to do, and that's exactly what you're doing right now. Walking away from it all, clearing your mind, and going into the unknown, and that in itself has a certain friance about it, doesn't it? Now, things are going to happen this month, which I do think they're actually in your best interest. And in fact, let's face it, the whole thing is about change, a new world, a new paradigm. With it comes luck, a new cycle, if you like, and with it comes luck. But you do learn from the beginning of this new cycle. You learn from it. And, we'll come to it next, but something happens that's maybe not the best of things for you, but you're going to realise that it's all a part of learning. It's something that was necessary. And as a result of it, you put up your boundaries in the future. And they're totally appropriate boundaries to be putting up. So that's the lesson you're meant to have learned. You do that in the future. And I don't want to take it negatively, because, as I say, it's all about learning. It's all about lessons. What's happened is actually all in your best interest. The thing that happens is justice. This is justice, not judgment. So it could even be a court case. But it's real world justice. This is, and I normally say, well, it could be for you, it could be against you, but I'm pretty certain it's against you. Now, if you are honest, own up, and are repenting, you have nothing to worry about. It'll be firm, but it'll be fair. But once it's over, you'll feel so much better. And I think to a certain degree, it's got something to do with that previous love who betrayed you. I think it's got something to do with that. I mean, maybe we're talking of a divorce settlement, and maybe you won't feel it's so fair, because who does? But, I suspect it will be fair. But once it's over, it's over. You can get on with your life and put up boundaries. You'll put up boundaries in the future so you don't get caught out again. Maybe you were led along by somebody, and all mothers say that their child was encouraged by the other children, don't they? But, that type of thing. But as I say, you've got nothing to worry about if you're truthful. Accept the punishment. And from that, you'll be able to move on. Now, I said it could be to do with the past love that's betrayed you. But equally, I think maybe you have a habit that's not that savoury. It could even be in an addiction. And maybe it's about that. And the justice, and indeed this new life, is your opportunity to change, and you should grab it. And indeed, as I say, in the future, putting up boundaries, or boundaries to you repeating, going back to what you were addicted to, So it's an opportunity to move on. The other way of seeing this is that, yes, there is an addiction there, but don't drown your sorrows in that addiction. Don't go back to it, Move on with your life, please. I don't know if we really are talking of addiction, but let me share with you, my first wife was a heroin addict. And, it begins as a bit of a laugh, as something to do, but you sort of enjoy it and you keep doing it. And what started off as a bit of fun becomes a a monkey on your back, a ball and chain around you. And there's nothing you want more than to move on. So I don't want this to sound like a negative reading, because it's very positive being given the opportunity to move on. And you have to go inside yourself. You have to do soul searching. And, if I'm right about the court case over an addiction, then that does provide you the opportunity to think about what you've done, move on, completely change your life. And that's what you're doing. You're going inside yourself. I think you're also turning your back on the old life. And we've said walking away, yeah. Walking away, turning your back on your old life and moving on. Virgo, last month, I think a relationship ended. And whilst it will have affected you, it wasn't so bad. They betrayed you also, because you found a new love. I think you did. I'm pretty certain you did. And I think what it's precipitated is the fact that you need to change your life. And that's what this month is all about. You are changing your life. Last month, you were searching for ways in which you could do it. But what I hadn't spotted is there's an obvious way. And that is, I believe you are addicted to a substance. Might not be that, it might be some sort of unsavoury behaviour. But I believe there is that addiction. And this month is all about you walking away from that, about you changing your life. You're given the opportunity to do so through the legal system. It might actually be a court case. Or you might simply be caught out by law enforcement officers and given a chance to change. I'm not certain, but you're given this opportunity to change. And as a result, you go inside your head and you work out your priorities. You turn your back on the lifestyle that you had in the past, which I think was a little bit materialistic, and you're walking away from that. You're certainly, I think, walking away from this addiction. And so, whilst this may seem like a negative reading, it's very positive, because if you have been addicted to a substance, there's nothing more you want than the opportunity for change. We find it very difficult to do. You have to do soul searching, go inside yourself. And I know about this because of my first wife was a heroin addict, So I know all about it, and it is a difficult situation. But you want nothing more to change, and this month gives you the opportunity for change. And there is a warning here not to go back to those habits, not to go back to that addiction. But you can move on. And the other thing you'll need to do in the future is put up boundaries so you don't slip back into it. And that probably includes not mixing with the people you used to mix with. So it probably does mean completely changing your lifestyle so that the temptation is no longer there.